The red breaking alert banner on Tasha Miles' computer screen flickered violently as the newsroom plunged into darkness. The hum of computers died in an instant. Only the storm outside remained alive, its furious howls rattling the tall glass windows of the 14th floor. Tasha froze, her fingers still hovering above the keyboard. The last sentence of her exposé, a 6,000-word bombshell detailing a pattern of racially motivated police brutality, blinked incomplete on her monitor. All she had to do was hit send. But the power outage had cut the network, trapping the story inside a silent machine. She rose from her chair, heart pounding. The newsroom was a cavern of black shapes now, rows of empty desks, silent phones, and the faint glow of the city swallowed by sheets of rain. Somewhere beyond the walls, a tornado siren wailed its steady, mournful warning. Then came the unmistakable click of a lock. The heavy glass door to the elevator lobby rattled. Someone was sealing her in. Tasha should have left with the others when the storm watch went out. But the truth inside her hard drive was too urgent to delay. Months of undercover research, secret recordings, hidden documents, testimonies from grieving families had led to tonight, a story proving that the city's celebrated integrity unit was nothing more than a squadron of racist enforcers. She had the names. She had the evidence. And she had a deadline. When her editor, Gerald appeared at her cubicle an hour ago, she barely looked up. "You're still here?" he asked, his voice warm but sharp as a paper cut. Gerald was a broad-shouldered white man in his 50s, his once boyish face lined from decades in the business. "Storm's getting nasty. Whole building's clearing out. 10 more minutes," she said. "The servers are slow." Gerald leaned on her desk. "That story you're sitting on, it's dangerous, Tasha. Maybe we hold it. Make sure we're bulletproof." "It's ready," she replied, her voice steady. "And we are bulletproof," he smiled thinly. "Careful. Courage doesn't keep the lights on." She ignored the warning and kept typing. When she finally looked up, he was gone. Back to the present, lightning flashed, throwing Tasha's reflection against the darkened window. Behind her, a shadow moved. She spun. Gerald stood near the conference room door, his silhouette broad and unmistakable. In his hand, a small flashlight cast a weak circle of white across the carpet. "Gerald?" Her voice cracked despite her effort to sound calm. "What's going on?" "The storm knocked out the power," he said. "Building's on lockdown until morning. Phones too, I'm afraid." "That's impossible," she snapped. "Emergency lights should be on. And the elevator, sometimes systems fail," he interrupted, stepping closer. The flashlight illuminated his face now, sweat glistening on his forehead despite the cold. "I told you this story wasn't safe. You don't understand the people you're dealing with." Her heart thudded painfully. "You cut the power." "Think, Tasha, these cops?" "They don't play games. If you publish that file, they'll come for you. Maybe tonight. Maybe next week. But they'll come." Lightning cracked again, revealing the faint bulge of something metallic at Gerald's waistband. A gun or just a phone? She couldn't be sure. "You locked the doors," she whispered. "I'm protecting you," he said softly. "If the story dies tonight, so do the threats. We can rewrite it, remove the names. Make it about policy, not people." Tasha's fear sharpened into fury. "You're protecting yourself," she said. "Who's paying you?" "The department? The mayor?" His jaw tightened. "You think you can fight the system? They own the courts. They own the cops. They own me. And if you hit send, they'll own your life." He moved closer, the beam of the flashlight wobbling across the desks. Tasha backed toward the server room door, calculating distances. If she could reach the breaker panel, maybe she could reboot the network. But Gerald blocked her path, reading her thoughts. "Don't," he warned. "There's no signal." I made sure of it. The storm roared outside, shaking the glass walls like a giant's fist. Rainwater leaked through a crack in the ceiling, dripping steadily onto the carpet. Tasha's mind raced. "Her phone!" She slipped a hand into her pocket, but the screen showed no service. Gerald saw the movement. "Put it down, Tasha. Don't make this harder." She met his gaze. "You can kill the lights, but you can't kill the truth." "Truth?" He barked a laugh. "Truth won't save you when they drag you out of your car at midnight." Truth won't stop a bullet. For a brief, searing moment, lightning illuminated his face completely. Anguish warring with resolve. He wasn't just scared. He was owned. A faint ding echoed through the hallway. The freight elevator? Impossible. Power was out. Gerald's head snapped toward the sound. Tasha seized the moment, bolting toward the server room. He lunged, catching her arm. "Stop!" he hissed. She twisted violently, breaking free. Adrenaline gave her strength she didn't know she had. She slammed the door behind her and threw the manual bolt. The server room glowed faintly from battery backups, small green lights like stars in the dark. She dove for the nearest terminal and yanked open the command console. If the wireless was dead, maybe the landline connection still lived in the backup grid. Gerald pounded on the door. "Don't do this, Tasha. They'll kill you!" Her fingers flew over the keyboard. The file uploaded painfully slow, percentages crawling across the screen. 10%? 20? "Come on," she whispered. The pounding grew louder. "They're already outside," he shouted. "Don't you hear the sirens?" Indeed, the tornado wail had shifted, joined by a deeper growl. Police? Or just the storm? 30%, 40. The terminal suddenly beeped. "Connection lost. No, no, no!" Gerald's voice dropped to a low, chilling calm. "It's over. Open the door. We'll leave together." Tasha stared at the blinking cursor. A single line of text remained from an earlier draft. "Corruption thrives in silence." Her grandmother's voice echoed in her mind. "If you can't find a door, make one." She grabbed the landline phone on the emergency rack. Dead. But the fax machine! Its light still flickered. She quickly fed the first few pages of her report into the tray and dialed the number of a trusted colleague at a rival paper, one memorized from years of newsroom rivalry. The machine whirred softly. Gerald's pounding stopped. A heavy silence fell, then the unmistakable sound of footsteps retreated down the hall. Rescue or ruse minutes crawled by. Through the glass panel in the server room door, Tasha saw shadows flicker. Then a voice, not Gerald's. "Ms. Miles? This is Officer Ramirez with City PD. Are you inside?" Her heart leapt. But doubt followed like a shadow. What if the cops outside were the very ones she'd exposed? "Identify yourself," she shouted. "Badge number?" A pause. Then the officer recited it clearly, adding, "We received an anonymous tip that you're in danger. Backup is here. Anonymous tip." Her colleague. "The fax." She unlocked the door cautiously. Two uniformed officers stood there, rainwater dripping from their gear. Behind them, Gerald was handcuffed, his face pale and blank. "He tried to leave through the freight elevator," an officer explained. "Building security caught him with a lock override key." Tasha's knees nearly gave out with relief. Her story, her truth, was already whirring through a fax line to freedom. After the storm hours later, the newsroom buzzed again, this time with reporters and flashing cameras. The rival paper had received her fax and gone live with the exposé. Names, dates, damning evidence, all out in the world before dawn. Gerald sat in a squad car below, his silhouette barely visible through the rain. He had chosen the system over his soul and lost both. As the first light of morning broke through the storm clouds, Tasha stood by the window, exhausted but unbroken. She knew the battle wasn't over. The men she exposed would rage. Threats would follow. But silence was no longer an option. Her phone buzzed with a text from her colleague. "Front page. We ran it all." "You're a hero," Tasha exhaled, a tremor of victory coursing through her. Heroes weren't born in comfort. They were forged in storms when the cost of truth was everything.